Okay, we are going to be talking about mortgages now, and we're going to start by talking about how to figure out the monthly payment. Okay, so a mortgage, you can think of this as kind of a simple interest loan, kind of a long-term simple interest loan where you're making a partial payment every month, kind of a regularly scheduled payment of the same amount every month until you get the loan paid off. Okay, so one of the things you have to be able to do is figure out what that payment would need to be in order to get the loan paid off in 30 years or in 15 years, however long the mortgage is. And so there's several ways of doing it. First of all, there is a formula, and it's actually a little more complex than the compound interest formula, but you almost see the compound interest formula within a bigger formula. And they have that in your textbook. You can check it out if you want. We're not going to use that. The other way you can do it is by using a mortgage table, and this is very common. I remember when I was buying a home, this was kind of before technology. Well, I shouldn't say it was before technology was that popular, but maybe our real estate agent was old school, and I think he carried around a table very similar to this to give us an idea what the monthly payment on the home would be. So he actually used a table. Probably the most common thing now would be to download an app, some sort of like a mortgage calculator, and it'll figure out your monthly payments and a whole bunch of other stuff that you need to know if you're going to buy a home. So what we're going to do is we're going to learn how to use this table here. So this is the mortgage table. We're going to use this table to help us figure out what the monthly payment's going to be. So if you look at the top of this table here, I don't know if I can zoom in. It says this table, the number here on this table gives you the monthly payment and interest. I'm sorry, the monthly principal and interest payment per $1,000 mortgaged. So really, this monthly principal and interest payment, that is your monthly payment, because when you make a monthly payment, some of that payment will go to principal, and that's the amount you borrowed, and some will go to the interest. Okay? And so you pay off interest and pay off principal. So really, this could say, I could cross this out like this, and I could say monthly payment per $1,000 of your mortgage. So this number on the table tells you how much you pay per $1,000 mortgage, how much your monthly payment's going to be per $1,000 mortgage. Okay, so what I've done here is I put together a little formula here. And this, you could use this to find the monthly payment. The monthly payment is actually equal to the number on the table, and I forgot to show this. So the way you get your number on the table is you go, this gives you you look up the interest rate of your loan down here, and this thing only goes to the nearest 0.5%. Okay, and so in that sense it's a very limited table. They got tables that are more detailed than that. But this will go to the nearest 0.5%. Across the top, you go to how many years the mortgage is for. So like a 30-year, 6% mortgage, where that row and that column intersect, you get a number. And that's the number on the table it's referring to right here. So you look up the number on the table, and then you multiply it by the amount mortgage divided by 1,000, okay? Because it's this number per $1,000 mortgaged, okay? So let's just try an example here, and you can see how this works. This says to buy a home, $139,400 is mortgaged at 6.5% interest for 30 years. So we want to figure out our monthly payment here. Okay, so it's going to be the number on the table times this amount mortgage divided by 1,000. Okay, So I gotta use my table now. So this is 6.5% interest for 30 years. Okay, so I go to my table. Maybe I could zoom in. Okay, so I go to like 6.5% interest here. 30 years is the very last column. Where those two intersect, you get the number on the table. In this case, it's like 6.32068. They give it to a whole bunch of decimal places. Okay, so 3. Make sure I get it right here. Oh, I've already got it wrong. 6.32068. Okay, so that's the number on the table, and now I gotta multiply it by the number, the amount mortgage divided by 1,000. So I multiply that by, 139,400 divided by 1,000. Okay, and so let's go ahead and do that. And I can actually put this in my calculator like this. Oop. Let me zoom out here. Okay, so 6.32068 times 139,400 divided by 1,000. So you can put it in there like that. You could use a parentheses around this if you feel like you need to, but it ends up you don't have to for this one. And I get this. I get $881.10. So the monthly payment is $881.10. So that would be my monthly payment on this mortgage. Okay? So one thing that I want you to notice is if you take a number like 139,000 and you divide it by 1,000, let's do that. 139,400. So if I take that and divide it by 1,000, anytime you divide by 1,000, you just move the decimal point over 3 places. So you see I get 139.4. So dividing by 1,000 pretty much amounts to taking the decimal point and moving it over 3 places. And then you get 139.4. Okay? So that's how I'm going to do it. Instead of dividing by 1,000 every time, I'm going to just move the decimal point over. And if I do that, it'll look like this. So let's do it on this one here. So, let's say there's a farmer needs a new combine. So to buy a combine, he's going to borrow $278,900, and so it's going to be mortgaged at 4.5% interest for 10 years. So what is the monthly payment here? So yes, combine is very expensive. So the combine is more than most houses. So let's find out what will the monthly payment be. So I need to get the number on the table. So it's 4.5% interest for 10 years. So this is like 4.5 right there in 10 years. So they intersect here at 10.36384. So 10.36384. Okay, and then I'm going to multiply this by the number of $1,000 mortgage. So instead of writing it like this, I'm going to move the decimal point over 3 places, and I get 278.9. So it's like, how many $1,000 am I mortgaging? 278.9 of them, because it's $278,900. So this is the number of $1,000 mortgage. And I just like to do it that way. It just makes it a little easier to type in your calculator, to write it down, so on. So let's figure out what this monthly payment is going to be. I get 10.36384 times the 278 times 278.9. And it looks like this is $2,890.47, and that will be the monthly payment that the farmer owes on the combine. Okay, so let's try one more here. I got it on the back. So this says the Joneses pay a 20% down payment on a $135,000 home, and then the rest is mortgaged at 5.5% interest for 20 years. So what I've done is I've added another step, okay? And that is, and this is usually when you buy a home, you make some sort of down payment. So that is, I need to, the $135,000 here is not the full amount that that's not the amount that I'm mortgaging. I'm not going to mortgage the full amount of the home. I'm going to make a down payment, okay? So, you could write it like this. I could say the amount mortgaged is going to be the $135,000 minus the down payment. And the down payment is 20% of this. So I'm going to write 20% of 135,000. So just like that. So it's 135,000 minus this down payment, and that's going to give me the amount that I mortgage. Okay, so 135,000 minus 0.20 times 135,000, and I get $108,000. So that's the amount here. That's the amount that I mortgage. Okay, so you got to take the down payment off first. So for a lot of these, you'll need to take off the down payment first, and then in the formula you're going to use this. You're just going to use the amount that you mortgage. Okay, so then my monthly payment will be the number on the table times the number of $1,000 mortgage. So this is 4.5% interest for 20 years here. So 4.5% interest. Sorry, 5.5% interest. 5.5% interest for 20 years, and I get this number. It's 6.87887. So 6.87887. And then I'm going to multiply that by the number of $1,000 mortgage. So I just move the decimal point over 3 places, and I get 108. So let's see, 6.87887 times $108. And it looks like my monthly payment will be $742.92. So that'll be the monthly payment on this particular mortgage. Okay, so that's the first step here. It's using the mortgage payment to find, it's using the mortgage table to find the monthly payment, and you just multiply the number of the table times the number on the table times the number of $1,000 mortgage. So, okay, in our next video, we are going to figure out how to find the total amount of interest you pay on the loan throughout the mortgage, okay? And what we're going to find out is we end up paying a lot of interest when we take out a mortgage. So that's coming next.